Nearly 60% of Americans couldn't cover a $1,000 emergency without borrowing. Not because they don't earn money, because they never learned the actual rules of it. Nobody hands you a manual. So today, we're covering 14 non-negotiable rules of money, the ones that quietly separate people who build wealth from people who just circulate cash. Let's get into it. Rule 1. Pay yourself first. Most people pay rent, bills, subscriptions, then save whatever's left, which is usually nothing. Flip that order. Take someone earning $4,000 a month who automates a 10% transfer, $400, into investments the second their paycheck lands, before touching a bill. Over 20 years, at an 8% average return, that single habit builds close to $235,000. The people who wait to save whatever's left almost never build that number, because there's rarely anything left by design. Rule 2. Learn how to invest, because not knowing is expensive. Cash sitting idle loses purchasing power to inflation every year. $10,000 left in a checking account for 15 years is still $10,000, actually worth less once you adjust for 3% average inflation. That same $10,000 invested at a historical stock market average of 8% a year becomes roughly $31,700 in 15 years. Same money, same person. The only difference is $1 amount understood how compounding works, and the other didn't. Rule 3. Don't be a hater of it. A lot of people carry quiet resentment toward money, treating wealth building as greedy or not for people like them. That belief has a cost you can calculate. Someone who avoids investing because money is the root of stress, and instead lets $500 a month sit in cash for 10 years ends up around $60,000. Someone who makes peace with money and invests that same amount at 8% ends up near $91,000. Resentment isn't neutral, it's a discount rate on your own future. Rule 4. Give every dollar a job. This is budgeting with intent, not restriction. A zero-based budget assigns every dollar a purpose before the month starts. Bills, investing, giving, fun, nothing floats unaccounted for. Households that budget this way typically redirect an extra 10 to 15% of income toward savings compared to households that spend reactively. On a $60,000 salary, that's an extra $6,000, $9,000 a year, invested instead of vanishing into untracked spending. Dollars without assignments disappear. Dollars with jobs compound. Rule 5. Spend less than you earn. The oldest rule in finance, and still the most broken. The math is brutally simple. Earn $5,000 a month. Spend $5,200 and you're going backward $2,400 a year regardless of income level. Earn that same $5,000, spend $4,200, invest the $800 gap at 8% for 20 years, and you've built roughly $470,000. Income determines your ceiling. The gap between earning and spending determines whether you ever get close to it. Rule 6. Have a plan and set goals. Vague intentions don't compound. Specific targets do. I want to retire comfortably isn't a plan. I need $1.2 million by 60, which means investing $650 a month starting now at an 8% return is a plan, and it's calculable. Studies on goal setting consistently show written, specific financial targets get hit at dramatically higher rates than vague ones. A goal without a number attached is just a wish with better branding. Rule 7. Don't be a slave to money. Build systems so it works for your life, not the other way around. Someone who never says no to overtime, side gigs, or extra shifts because they need every dollar right now is optimizing for today at the cost of burnout and zero investing. Someone who builds even a modest investment base, say $150,000 generating a conservative 4% annual passive yield, collects $6,000 a year without trading another hour for it. The goal isn't more hustle forever. It's building enough assets that money eventually stops requiring your constant labor to move. Rule 8. Keep your finances organized. Disorganized finances cost real money. Missed bill due dates trigger late fees averaging $25–40 each. Forgotten subscriptions quietly drain $200–500 a year per household. Uncategorized spending makes it nearly impossible to know your actual savings rate. Someone with a simple tracked system catches these leaks within a month. Someone without one can lose thousands a year to nothing but disorder. Money that just evaporates instead of compounding. Rule 9. It's a game. Learn the actual rules of it. Taxes, interest rates, credit scores, employer retirement matches. These are the rules of the financial game, and most people play without reading them. A simple example: an employer offering a 100% 401k, match up to 5% of salary, is free money on a $60,000 salary. That's an extra $3,000 a year for simply contributing. Someone who doesn't know the rule leaves that $3,000 on the table every single year. Not knowing the rules doesn't make you innocent. It makes you the one funding everyone else's account. Rule 10. Always have an emergency fund. Without one, a single $2,000 car repair or medical bill gets financed on a credit card at 20% plus interest, turning a one-time expense into a multi-year debt. With 3 to 6 months of expenses saved, say $9,000 for someone spending $3,000 a month, that same emergency gets paid in cash. No interest, no damage to your investing plan. An emergency fund isn't dead money sitting idle. It's insurance against your entire financial plan getting derailed by one bad month. Rule 11. Always make money work for you. This is leverage and compounding combined. $20,000 invested and left alone for 25 years at an 8% average return becomes roughly $137,000 without adding another dollar, purely from the money working on its own. The same $20,000 kept in cash for 25 years is still $20,000, minus what inflation quietly took from it. One version of that money clocked in every single day for 25 years. The other version stayed home. Rule 12. Learn how to make money passively. Dividend-paying investments, rental income, and royalties all share one trait. They pay you whether or not you show up that day. A $150,000 dividend portfolio yielding a conservative 3% generates $4,500 a year in cash, with 0 additional hours worked. That's not a side hustle. That's capital doing the job a second income would otherwise require your time for. Rule 13. Use money to solve problems in the world, because that's also where more of it comes from. Every profitable business, at its core, is solving a problem for someone willing to pay for the solution. A person who invests $5,000 into starting a small service business solving a real local problem, say a $50 a job service reaching just 10 clients a month, generates $500 monthly, $6,000 a year, on that initial investment. Money aimed at real problems tends to multiply. Money aimed at nothing tends to just get spent. Rule 14. The one that overrides all the others. It's not what you make, it's what you keep. Two people can each earn $100,000 a year. One keeps and invests 5%, $5,000 a year. The other keeps and invests 25%, $25,000 a year. Over 20 years at 8% growth, the first person builds around $247,000. The second builds over $1.2 million, largeness 5 times more, from the identical income. Income is your fuel. Your keep rate is the engine. Most people upgrade their fuel their whole lives and never touch the engine. 14 rules. None of them require a 6-figure income to start. Pay yourself first. Give every dollar a job. Keep more than you think you need to. And let the rest of these rules compound quietly in the background for the next 20 years. If this reshaped how you see your own money, subscribe. Power Chronicles breaks down the real mechanics of wealth every week. Comment below. Which of these 14 rules are you the worst at right now?